Hello, mentors. Let's look at the solutions to these puzzles, shape puzzles. So remember, there's 81 cards total, and they have different features: the color, the shape, how many, so the number, and if they're filled or not. So this illustrates all the cards, and students will have the cards to manipulate, but they can also write the solutions. So let's take a look at the example. What would be one card? So we're looking for this system in which the solution would be one card that has exactly one different thing from this card, which is 2, right? Squiggly, green, and then we can say stripped. And then the solution is, well, there's a lot of possibilities. You could have 2 green ovals stripped. Let's take a look at here. Where would that be? So 2 green ovals stripped. So this card here would share almost everything with this card, except for the shape. But you could also have 2 red squiggles stripped, etc. So you'll get 4 solutions, right? Depending on, well, more than 4. So depending on what you don't want to agree on, right? You could also say, instead of ovals, you could also say diamonds, and then you would have, so you probably have 8 solutions. I'll leave that for you. Let's take a look at level 0. So this is where the fun begins. Exactly 2 different things. So we're looking for one card or more that has exactly 2 different things from this one red squiggle totally full. Let's take a look at the solution, and you can also read about it in the teaching guide at your own pace. So we could, for example, hunt for a card or look for a card that's also red and squiggly. So we are fixing these 2 things just to start. And then you can see that you have 9 total options. So which cards are red and squiggly? Well, 9 of them, right? But then we need a different number because it's exactly 2 different things, and also a different field. So we get these 4. Out of these 9, we get these 4 options, namely 2 empty, 2 unstripped, 3 unempty, and 3 unstripped. So that gives us a 4 solution already. Is this all? Well, not really, because now we could fix the number and the color, and it's the same idea. So students should have this aha moment that, oh, it's going to be kind of just the same, but in different choice of aspects, they can count these 4 solutions. And the next step for pushing your students is that they realize that there's 6 different ways to fix 2 of the 4 characteristics, right? 2 of the 4 features, namely the color and the shape, the color and the number, the color and the field, number and the shape, number and the field, and the shape and the field, or the filling. And then they'll reason and they'll generalize that no matter what, there's 4 each time. And they also want to argue that in these lists, they don't get the same card, right? So they're disjoint, they're totally separated. They don't repeat any card. And that's easy to see because they have these same things here. So they cannot be a card that has the same red full versus this same, because then they're going to be different here in the color, right? So for example, here, everybody has to be red. And here, everybody has to be not red because you're making the color different. So that gives 24 solutions to level 1. Let's take a look at level 2. Sorry, this was level 0. Let's take a look at level 1. And level 1 is now 2 cards given, and you want a card that has exactly one different thing from this card and exactly 2 different things from this card. So we're going to get an inconsistent solution. So it's going to be a bit of a surprise, and that's intended that way. Let's try to argue first that the card we're looking for shares everything except the shape with this first card. So if it shares everything, it has to have 3 things: purple, full, and then the shape has to be different. So there's just 2 options. But then what happens is that this card is so alike this card that it shares 3 things that it cannot share 2 things with this green card, because this card is totally different from this purple card, right? They don't share any features. So that's the general realization, the observation, that you're not going to be able to win because cards that you put here have to agree on 3 things with this card. But since this card disagrees a lot with this card, everything, then you cannot agree on 2 things or disagree on 2 things. So you can read the teaching guide to convince yourself, like step by step. But the conclusion is that the solution to this puzzle does not exist. So it's what we call an inconsistent system. Now, a good follow-up question for students would be, is there a way to change one of the starting cards, namely these or these, to actually get a consistent system? And the answer is yes, you can do that. And just make sure that now there's a little agreement between these 2 cards. On the start, there was 0 agreement, so it was impossible. The final puzzle is level 2, where we have a 2 and a 2. So again, we have totally different cards here. They don't share any trait. They have different decisions. They made totally different decisions on the 4 traits. But the fact that we have a 2 and a 2 maybe will help. So let's take a look. Suppose first that the card shares the shape and the number with this first card. So it has to be a novel, and it has to be, shape and number. So not green. Let me erase this. So it has to be a novel, and it has to be stripped. So out of this, sorry. It's fine. It has to be a 1 and a novel. It's here. It shares the number and the shape. So we have 4 candidates. Really, right? Because we had 9 options, but only really 4 work. And out of these 4, you can see that the one that shares exactly 2 things with this card here of the start has to be red and has to be empty. Otherwise, you share just 1 or 0 aspects. So you get just 1 solutions. And this is similar to the past puzzle of level 0, in which we went with all combinations of 2 features, which are 6. And we run it, and in each case, we get 4 options, but only 1 works with respect to the other card. So for example, here, for shape and feel, these 4 options would work for this Greek card. They share 2 things, right? The shape and the feel. But out of these 4, only 1 will share 2 options or 2 traits with the second card, here, the red and the number. Same here, this will share the number and the feel, and so on. This, and this. So again, it's a general pattern. It's a good generalization that students will have, this aha moment. And the conclusion is that this puzzle has 6 solutions in total. So it's a nice, a diverse puzzles, because level 0, we had many solutions, right? We had lots of solutions. Level 1, we got inconsistent, right? And level 2, we also got lots of solutions, but a little fewer, because we just have 1 for each choice. Whereas in level 0, yeah, we had 4 for each choice of 2 traits. So it's a good variety. Remember that there's going to be another video that talks more broadly about these shape puzzles, talking about the star challenges and how they work. And in this video, we only concentrated on the puzzles themselves. Okay, so have a lot of fun and see you in the next video.